chances are, if you're watching this video, you're stuck at an income ceiling and you want to break through to that next level of income and create a life where you're able to create that security, that financial freedom for yourself. And I remember being stuck, not being able to break through to that next level. And now I've been able to travel all over the world. I've been able to help others make a whole ton of money. I've had people make 4, 5, and 6 figures, and I've had some people go on to make 7 figures in income. And that doesn't happen by accident. That happens by understanding the God frequency. What is the God frequency? The God frequency is understanding who you really are beyond your thinking. If you're still in thinking, you're going to have an income ceiling. If you still have thinking, I know that sounds dumb, right? If you still have thinking, you're still going to have an income ceiling. The fact that you can use language to describe income ceiling is the block in itself, right? If you have no description, if you have no language, there is no limiting belief or income ceiling there at all. And so you're operating on a state and a character that is playing out this role of income ceiling, income ceiling, income ceiling. So all you get is income ceiling. So you can put in the extra work, you can put in the extra hours, you can do the manifestation techniques, but manifestation stuff is just, it's outdated now, and we need to start being practical and not messing around with kindergarten methods like affirmations and visualizations and stuff like that. We can push those things aside and really embrace the truth of who we really are. Okay. If you remember who you really are, you remember that you are the God frequency, when you remember that you are presence, when you remember that you are source, there is no limitation. You are stepping into a state of unlimited or limitless, right? And that requires no thinking. I know that sounds strange, but it requires you practicing embodying the state of no thinking. So if you're someone that is trying to create a dream, trying to break through to the next level, and you're thinking it, you're using thoughts to get there, you've already limited yourself, because thinking can only get you so far. Your true power is actually reducing your thoughts or having no thought at all and opening your heart. Okay, you open your heart and allow that divine love to flow through you. And I think many people who are actually into manifesting and spirituality, we want to operate more from our hearts and less from our minds, because society wants us to follow the rules, be a slave to the system, and follow the rat race. Whereas you might be feeling, okay, I want to do something meaningful, something fulfilling, something that I'm actually passionate about. And this is where the energy can completely flow through you. So when you allow God to flow through you, when you allow source to flow through you, now you can be guided to the directions, the answers, the solutions to create the outcomes that you want. But you can only do that when you let the old character go, when you let the old self go. The old self is your thinking, is your ego, is your mind, is your narrative, is your stories, is your beliefs, is your ideas about reality itself. People have told you you have limiting beliefs and subconscious blocks and all this stuff. And when you identify with having subconscious blocks, guess what? They reinforce themselves that you have subconscious blocks, and you keep on experiencing subconscious blocks, and you keep on looking for them, and you keep on trying to find them. There must be this block and that block, and you hide the next course and next course. The idea is to drop all of that and let that go and get away from this thinking, narrative, story, belief. The belief in the biggest limiting belief is believing that you have limiting beliefs, right? And the more that we step into presence and we practice being source, we practice embodying source, when we practice embodying the God frequency, now we're operating from a completely different level. We're operating beyond duality, okay? Beyond polarity, beyond left and right, up and down, indoors, outdoors, breathe in, breathe out, male and female. You are operating from non duality. You're operating from a space of truth. What does that actually mean? If we take hot and cold, what is that, right? It's temperature. Temperature is what it is, right? Is there actually such thing as hot and cold? No, just temperature, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, man has said this is hot and this is cold, and this is, overall it's called temperature, right? But temperature is the God, or the God frequency of hot and cold, up and down. What's the God frequency of up and down? Direction, right? Now, what's the God frequency of this world? No mind, no thought, negative thought, positive thought, right? What's the God frequency of that? No thought at all. That's the God frequency. And another word for God frequency, just so you know, is enlightenment. Right? Enlightenment. And when you're able to embody more enlightenment, and by the way, I'm not saying I'm enlightened, you are able to navigate this reality in such a way where this unlimited energy is flowing through you. Does that make sense? So how do you do that? How do you practice that on a daily basis? Well, there are many different techniques and strategies that you can use. One is, meditation and practicing self-inquiry. I have a little guide, and it's not a little guide actually. It's an interactive guide where you get to choose options and stuff like that. And you get to find out where you are in terms of your source state, right? Your God frequency. You get to find out where you are, and then you know where you are, and then you know the journey that you need to take in order to get to becoming more source now and embodying it. But the key thing is just recognizing and letting go of polarity, letting go of polarity altogether, good and bad, right? I have a negative emotion, a positive emotion. Let go of this idea of negative emotion, positive emotion. Let go of bad people and good people. Let go of the idea that you need to be good and you can be a good person, right? Or you don't want to be a bad person. Let that all go, right? All of this is narrative and story and beliefs. Once you let it go, you are free, you're accessing the God frequency, and you're not operating from the character anymore. The character is running your show, right? And we've become so identified with the character. What I mean by that is, when in the movies where they practice being in that role so much, they actually become the character and they can't come out of that character. That's what we do as human beings. We become the mind, the thoughts, the emotions so much that we get lost in the character. And then presence is the one that is aware of the character, right? Is the one, the source frequency or the God frequency is the one that is seeing the characters, is aware and present of the character. Okay, God level consciousness, and you want to begin looking through life through the eyes of source, through the eyes of God, and seeing everyone and everything as God, because everybody is you pushed out. And the more that we get to understand that, the more that we realize that everything is energy, everything is frequency, everything is vibration, meaning everything is you. If everything is energy, that means you are energy. You are energy, everything is energy, that means you are everything. So there's nothing to manifest, right? You are literally everything itself. And so all you need to do is choose from the various options, okay, the infinite potentials that are available, which are all potentials, right? Right? And choose your reality. If you're choosing income ceiling, which you was choosing prior to this video, otherwise you wouldn't have clicked on it, right? Right? I have an income ceiling. You've chosen that. Then now you want to choose what is it that you actually want. Yeah, but Gavin, I've tried that before. I've tried to manifest. I've tried to think positive. I've tried to shift my reality. And I've been doing the visualizations. I have been choosing it. But where have you been choosing it from? You've been choosing it from the character. You've been choosing it from the limited character, the limited self, the thinking, the thoughts. What I'm saying is come back to presence, the known mind, and then you choose your reality from that no limited mind. Does that make sense? So that is what you want to practice. Like I said, there's a guide and stuff that's going to show you how to do this. You can join my community also. I'm only looking for serious people who really want to practice embodying the state of presence, embodying the source frequency, the God frequency. No tie kickers, no lurkers, real serious people who want to communicate, contribute to the community. I will be approving people in. Only certain people is going to be allowed into the group. All right. So that's about it. See you in the next video. Peace.